Harry's Wife, part 102.96. A third child is coming. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Once upon a time, a spider came from over the sea to try and ensnare a member of the British aristocracy. She came with plenty of spicy poontang and was looking for a ginger-haired prince to bang. And thus she did. And what did she create? Something so terrible before it became too late for her to be left up on a shelf like that annoying little shit that appears at Christmas, you know, the elf on the shelf. Leaving aside my impromptu poetry there, it's worth reflecting that Harry's wife came from over the ocean and, as I've explained in parts past, ensnared Prince Harry. Not before long, they were engaged, then married, as her narcissism propelled her to get her claws into him, to make sure that he could be controlled, to keep him under control, so that she could drink of his fuel and savour, subconsciously of course, those delicious, tantalising, succulent character traits and residual benefits. And then, in order to cement the deal following marriage, the news of pregnancy arose. Whilst there are those that don't believe that she was ever pregnant, and those who believe that somebody else carried the child, along came a child called Archie Harrison, offspring number 1. And lo, for there was much speculation about moon bumps having gone beforehand, and use of dolls, and across the internet at large, speculation was rife as to whether a child actually existed, whether the child was hired in, and so forth. But a child there come to pass. And then, some time later, along came number 2, Lilibet, given the nickname of the Queen, despite the fact that Harry's wife had roundly turned on Her Majesty. And thus, another child came along, and similarly, there was additional speculation about the provenance of this child, and it continues to this day. Harry and Harry's wife declared that that was it. That was the end of matters. No more children. Their days of procreation had ended. But now, what is this we see on the horizon? What is this but suggestion that child number 3 is coming this way? Is this yet more hypocrisy of Harry's wife and Harry? That they talked about 2 is enough, and they're now onto a third? There is only one way that we can find out, and that is to delve deep into this news article, which comes from no other place than the Super Soaraway Sun, written by Becky Pemberton, which tells us: Sussex baby, Harry's wife and Prince Harry will have a third child, but have a few chinks in their armour. Really? A third child? Chinks in their armour? Where do we get this from? The headline gives us the basis of this information. Say their numbers. What? What is that? Their numbers. Harry's wife and Prince Harry are to have a third child, or so their numerology predicts. A leading numerologist who analyses people's numbers to determine their traits claims to have worked out exactly what lies ahead for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It works by matching numbers that represent the letters of a person's full name, added with a date of birth, and we also have an individual number that will show our traits. So what can we learn about Harry's wife and Harry? Heather James, a numerologist for top dating agency Mogul Matchmakers, told Fabulous that they are extremely compatible. Well, already we know that this is a load of bollocks. Because although there is a degree of compatibility of narcissist and victim, ultimately they're not because of narcissist and victim. It's symbiotic, but it isn't a healthy compatibility. But the article ploughs on, notwithstanding my understandable cynicism, and states, she explained they definitely have a past life connection. Oh, God. They also work brilliantly in business together. What business? Oh, you mean Harry's wife makes a decision and Harry goes along with it? Well, I suppose you're right then. In the little box we're told, what is numerology and how do you work out your life path numbers? Numerology is a belief in the divine relationship between a number and one or more coinciding events. Well, actually, there is some force in this, isn't there? For instance, if I ring up the Chinese takeaway and say number 23, lo and behold, beef in black bean sauce comes my way. Who'd have thought it? Maybe there's something more to this than first met the eye. Also, if you get the numbers on your lottery ticket and they match the ones that are drawn, you could become very wealthy indeed. Similar to astrology, it tells us certain numbers are associated with specific traits or themes. Your life path number is calculated by your date of birth and is considered one of the most important and influential numbers within your entire numerology chart. So, for example, if you're born on the 7th of March 1992, how odd, they've got my exact date of birth there. 0 plus 7 plus 0 plus 3 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 2 equals 31. Then add 3 and 1 together. The life path number is 4. Okay, what does that mean? The most powerful number has been something debated by numerologists, according to Numerology Nation. The master numbers are 11, 22, and 33. The 3 numbers are believed to have the highest potential for success. Okay. Returning to talking about Harry and Harry's wife, the lady explains, I predict that they will have a 3rd child in 3 years' time, too. Their numbers say it all. It may not all be plain sailing, though. As Heather said, the Duke and Duchess are a good match, but there are a few chinks in their armour. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, yada yada, they live in an $11 million pound home, da-da-da, with Lilibet and Archie, all been told that before. Heather, who is soon to be appearing in the hottest new dating show Money Can't Buy Me Love, added that Harry's wife is a 4. Ooh, she won't like that. She thinks she's an 11 out of 10. And 4s are restrictive. Yes, they are, aren't they? The numerologist continued, she's sensitive. Yes, to control, I go with that, and take things to heart a lot. However, she has the digit of fame in her name. Does Harry have the digit in his bottom? Meaning that she was born to be a star. She's rigid with rules and sometimes lacks tolerance, true, but she's also down to earth and a great mum. Not sure how all of this is known from the numbers and how much of it is just trotting out something that you already know from having observed her, but still. Harry's wife has 64, nearly, within her numbers, which is uncanny, as Lilibet was born on June the 4th. So I feel as if mother and daughter will have a very strong connection. Meanwhile, Heather said Harry is a number 1. Well, he always has the piss taken out of him, so I suppose that matches, meaning he has great leadership skills. Yeah, absolutely. She added he is also ambitious, not allowed to be that, Harry, dirty word. Independent, you're not allowed to be that threatens control. And organised, well, you can put the building blocks on top of one another, so good for you. The key in their relationship is that they must listen to each other for things to work. Harry needs to be admired, but the good news is that Harry's wife as a 4 is a giver. Only up until the end of the golden period she is, so that dynamic works. Well, there we are. Apparently, child number 3 is on the way. There's time for it yet to happen, and the numbers are apparently good for Harry's and Harry's wife. I bet you're absolutely delighted that you've listened to all of that. But this is, of course, the nonsense that's trotted out in relation to them. And, of course, it demonstrates that no matter how much of an expert this individual is with regard to numerology, there are absolute mistakes made because of the failure to see that this is, of course, a relationship between narcissist and victim. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.